everyone, and welcome to Patriot Crusader Missions Christian Warrior Talk. Sorry, our awesome dog just ran over stuff and turned off a bunch of stuff, and hopefully all the vital stuff is running.
It might have been the shoe. The shoe hit the power cord. Might have been me when I put my chair in. I'm not. Not positive.
All right, so we're still down one over here. If we can trace and see what's going on with that.
Okay,
but it appears we're good.
We're good. We're good here.
All right.
Turn that one on.
So happy Columbus Day, everyone. Or happy imperialist domination day, whatever you want to call it. If you're of the crazy, insane left. What a great weekend we just came off of with our forging. So blessed. So many people came out. Hey Michelle, hey Robert, good to see you. So many people came out. It was life-changing for a lot of us, and I'm just so thankful and blessed beyond belief on how well it went.
It seemed like it was a long time coming when it was originally scheduled, but it came very quickly.
Yeah, as it does everything.
It was a humbling weekend of fellowship and
hey Dan.
Just always in awe of the community that is surrounding us and the willingness that they have to kind of jump in on what we're doing and follow our lead, and they were open and deep and raw, and it was beautiful.
Well, when you come into something like the forging, you're going to get what you put into it, right? You can sit there and button up and act like you're squared away and keep your facade and pretend to be somebody else, and you can do it.
Yep.
And you'll get absolutely zero out of it.
Yep.
You'll get some tactical skills. What I found amazing, and this is kind of the whole point of the ministry.
Hi, John. And it was day off up until the show.
Up until the show, yeah. We can't do 2 days. This isn't work. This is hanging out with family.
Yeah, we didn't do Friday. We can't bail twice in a row.
But I was on the middle of something. I can't remember
what it was. What we were finding, I think you were talking about how people were coming for the tactics. Is that what you were getting into?
So, most people came to this event to learn to the shooting, the combatives, and all of the kinetic stuff. And what universally was the most popular. I mean, they all learned stuff. Everyone enjoyed all that stuff. But universally, the most popular stuff was the God stuff. Was the was the time alone with God, which was the assignments of God. The
hey, Mary Jo, neighbor.
Thank you, Mary Jo. Good to see you. The fellowship.
Yeah.
The war council. Yeah. Really, really, guys were like, man, we should just do that. And I said, would you have come?
If it was advertised
all as that. Advertised as God stuff? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So that's why we mix the tactics.
And I think doing a mix is a unique experience. I mean, you get your church conferences that are going to be attempting to do some version of the God stuff.
Not very well. Ask our friends.
Attempting. That's why he said attempting. And then you can go to like tactical things, but I think it's very rare that you get some blend of it, especially in a way that you can tie it together and explain why you are learning all of the things, each activity, even the tactical stuff, under the umbrella of this is a weekend about God.
Yeah, and we learned so much during this. We learned that the spiritual stuff takes up to 400% longer than you think it will.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a fantastic weekend to, as I said earlier, forging. Yeah. We have some notes that we will take to refine it for the next time, and then the next time, and the next time, as far as how we need to what we can anticipate realistically to fit in for the weekend versus what was kind of the wish list of activities, and then how much time to designate for each thing. And yes, I mean, it's, you can set a desired timeline for each activity, but yeah, you're certainly not going to cut short people who are bearing their soul in a God moment and be like, oh, time to move on.
Yeah.
So, that stuff inevitably went longer than, and ended up, we had to shift out. More of the tactical stuff didn't happen because the God stuff ended up.
Well,
and I think that's the important way to do it.
And the relationships
Danae,
that were
hi.
forged. Hey, Danae, great to see you. And the relationships that were forged. Everyone was instructing everyone based upon their experience level or shared struggles.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing, which was always the intent.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has something to offer and everyone has something to learn. And I think that was, we knew most of the people there. We had, met them at least once before. A couple of people we know through the show only had, and this was the first time we met them. Everyone felt like family immediately, and I think everybody else felt that connection as well. And I think that is what's so incredible about this community and what you get out of true fellowship of people who are seeking the same thing, is that people immediately felt comfortable opening up about who they are and their past and their testimony. So
yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. And, I mean, there was a lot of superstars that helped make this happen again.
Yeah.
I want to thank, so many people. I want to thank, Walter.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank Warren. I want to thank,
Leonard.
I want to thank Steve Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Abla. The amount of work that they put in to get this done.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Yeah, just, I mean, because they knew. Just
because they cared.
And it's like, if any piece of them had not been there, we needed every one of them and every moment that they gave us to get ready. And it all came together. It's amazing how much it all came together.
Yeah, it was miraculous. And then it rained and rained and rained and rained.
Yeah.
And our lawn is going to take a year to recover from the damage that we did. But it was all worth it. It was all worth it. And, at the end of it, you feel like you just forged, your family just got bigger.
Yeah.
Like literally everyone there becomes like family.
Mm-hmm.
And it was,
and Austin is another one to thank for all the work that they did. And we didn't end up using the barn this time. It'll certainly be used in the near future. But all the work he did to prep that.
Yeah. And the range time was great. Thank you, John, for instructing on the range.
Yep.
Thank you for the entire for Race family for your generous donations. It was awesome. And then the Lord provided 2 glorious days, sunny, awesome days out there. And we used all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we capped it with 3 baptisms of 2 shield maidens and a shield brother.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it was really, really great. One and one of my first baptisms ever.
Yeah.
Hopefully
and you did
not
great.
my last. Hopefully not my last.
Hardly.
And what a great, great, great time.
Yeah, and I some of the people have heard me say this. We were stressing because we were running late. Everything had shifted late from activities and stuff on Sunday, and then there was a hose crisis and all of this stuff because he went out and bought this 300-gallon long
8-foot long
livestock
2 feet high, 3-foot wide
water trough. Yep. And it was at the top, and so we had to use the 100-gallon one in the 4x4 to schlep water up, and we have bad water pressure, not a good hose. Hose was like it was all, and so we were like, this is going to take like 10 trips to get enough water up there, and we were running behind, and so we were kind of stressing while everyone else was shooting, and because we were trying to do it by 5 was the original plan, and then 5:30 people had to start leaving, a couple people, and it ended up happening 6:30 maybe. And God made it a beautiful evening. It was just the right time. Other than the fact that there was a few people who very sadly had to leave ahead of time and not be able to participate and watch. It was a beautiful time of night to do it.
Well, and we had some spiritual warfare step in. We had people with kids who came down with projectile vomiting on day 2.
Mm-hmm.
We had all kinds of barriers pop up to get people there. So we were missing people on the second day.
Yeah.
But I'm sad for them because day 2 was where the heavy lifting spiritually was.
Yeah.
And I think everybody who went through the training, the lecture, the training, the walk with God exercise, the reflections on walk with God exercise or debrief, and got a lot out of it.
I think it seems it. Yeah. But there will be others. So hopefully people can come back and complete it if they had to leave early for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, if anybody who participated wants to call in,
you're
more than welcome to call in and give your reflections.
And we've said this to some of the people. We need you guys to start practicing helping Jason co-host a little bit, because when this baby comes, I'm not going to be reliable here at 9:00 for an hour plus. So he's going to need you guys to like call in and help talk, help be co-hosts. So if you guys want to start practicing getting comfortable with that, that would be like super cool. All right. So that number, let us know if you want to come and tell us about your experience for the weekend, or if you've heard anything, or if you want to come the next time.
Or and again, we're gonna be sending out. Well, actually, ask for the photos now.
Okay. Yes, everyone. I think probably most attendees are online. I haven't seen Steve yet, but if anyone. I saw a lot of people taking pictures. So if you guys can send me the pictures that you took on your phones, I would like to compile kind of the best things that I wasn't able to be at every individual activity. So if you documented anything that I don't have pictures of, I would love to kind of compile. So you can put up my number if you want to type it in.
Your phone number?
Yeah. My number. So if you have pictures, videos, anything, text me. Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to again thank everybody for being, as honest and as transparent as they could. There was a lot of healing. There was a fair amount of healing tears. Not what I would say a lot. The best part was the laughter.
Mm-hmm.
The Christian fellowship laughter. Like, I am so glad that we shattered that stick in the mud, lame churchianity, crap, and threw it out the window.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were having fun and laughing. Every night around the fire was a great time. Everyone was ribbing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. John tried calling me. I'm going to call him back here. Hold on.
All right, John. Thank you.
Hey, brother. Sorry I missed your call. I had it muted. You ready to come on air? All right. Hey, everyone. Here is John Ferrace. Him and his family, his lovely wife, Claudia, and his daughter, Diana, came down for the training. They are longtime listeners and supporters of this program. We love them. They're truly family to us. John, what you got to say about this weekend?
first off, the God stuff, as far as that goes, that was something that I didn't know what to expect, and I, I think that was the best part of the whole weekend. Now, for some like myself, I'm pretty closed lip guy, and I don't really share a whole lot. And I just found myself just completely opening up, and the people that I didn't even know, and even to myself, a lot of things that were like way down deep that I really didn't realize, and things that I changed to make me a better person. And that's something that I truly thank you for allowing me to do that, and just to make me a better person, better man, better father, better friend, um, to you know anybody I can.
Yeah, man. Well, it was you did the heavy lifting, man. It's you. It's the courage to get up there and stop pretending, right? It's to pull away the mask. You're fooling even yourself, right, John? I mean, that's the key, right? Is you
Yeah,
even fool yourself, right? And then all of a sudden the Holy Spirit takes over, the healing tears coming, and now truth is just pouring out of you. And it's just so amazing to witness. And I'm just so thankful for every tear that was shed and every bit of truth that was spoken, because that's what this is all about. We use the shooting and the combatives and the CQC and all the sexy stuff. And the most important part is the part you just mentioned, right? And that's the stuff they're all going to remember. Yes, they got better at shooting. Yes, they learned how to hit. They learned some other stuff. Yes, they learned, other things. But the thing that's going to have the longest impact on them eternally is the spiritual stuff that we did. And I'm just so glad that it worked out the way it
Yeah,
did.
and that beautiful ripple effect of how it's
yeah,
going to
absolutely.
impact anyone who you touch. And I mean, fortunately for you, you also had family members who came, and so you now as a unit
Yeah,
can take
that
that
was like
and move
a super
forward.
bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like I said, that was an absolute bonus for me.
yeah. So
It,
for you
it
guys that
had
don't know,
the opportunity to have my wife and daughter were with us,
Yeah.
were there, and that was a great experience that I'm glad we could share with each other.
yeah, well, the best part was particularly you and your daughter feeding off of each other. It was really quite amazing. And to watch you guys get vulnerable in front of one another and, supporting one another. A lot of people might have shied away from that. And I'm glad you guys, with reckless abandon, just went for it. And it was
Yeah,
great.
I think it's almost easier to be open and vulnerable with strangers sometimes than your immediate family members. They often don't
Yeah,
know kind of what's behind, in the depths of your soul in the same way. So that's pretty amazing that you guys were able to do that. And Claudia was, she was helping behind the scenes a little bit more than kind of participating in some of the stuff. She helped me with Baby B a ton. So she was not able to be in on all of those things, but I'm glad that she also did the walk and stuff with you guys.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. Absolutely great. Anything else you want to add, John? We appreciate you calling in and being the first.
Yes.
yeah. I would just want to say one thing as far as like being a parent and having a child with me there. My child's like she's not a child; she's a grown woman. Um, if you're a father out there and a, a relationship that you could really make solid and make whole is be open with your children. I mean, you don't have to tell them all everything, but what I went through this weekend with my daughter, the relationship that my daughter and I had, I think, within the last month or so, and even after this weekend, I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world.
Yeah.
And if you have an opportunity to really get deep down with your kids, do it. Don't wait and make it happen.
That's awesome.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you
We
for
love
calling
you.
in, John.
Hey,
And we're glad
you're
you made
welcome,
it
guys.
home
Love you.
safely.
Yep.
All right. Have a
All
blessed
right. Good
night.
night.
I think that's one of the things that, we've talked before about the pitfalls of typical church conferences is
Yep.
that they
separate
divide
everyone.
everybody up.
Yep.
And so very rarely do even spouses participate in the same thing, but was that someone else trying to call in? And especially rarely, even more rare, it's parents and kids, and doing something that's an activity like this, which is asking them to, bare souls in front of each other. And I know, my family would be incredibly terrible at that activity. And, I'm still getting comfortable being more open to around my parents. So, watching Diana and John just allow that experience to take hold of them and embracing it was inspiring for me, to watch a father and daughter do something that I know that I would struggle to be comfortable with. So I admire it greatly, and I'm so happy for them to have that experience.
Well, my hat goes off to Diana, because I mean, she was extremely transparent and went to bat, and again, those two leading in that was amazing. But there were others around the circle as well that did the same thing, and those are the ones that I think got the most out of it. It was great, and that's something that I wanted to do, because I'm so tired of Christianity separating the men and the women. The men go over here and do something cool, and the women go over there and do something sucky.
And I'm so glad that, I mean, we almost had it just be men for this first one, kind of as.
So glad we didn't do that.
And what a loss that would have been.
Yeah, well, it's the thing is, we're facing all the same stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it basically comes down to. And I was so. Oh, you're welcome, Diana. You're welcome. I was so glad to be able to help women roll into their warrior identity. I spent a lot of time on the second day contextualizing and fleshing out the complexity of that role of a shield maiden.
Yeah, because we talk, how the Bible has kind of how society has perverted the meaning of meek for men, and made them be kind of, as you call them, mush monsters. And then women, they grasp kind of an incorrect version of submissive as well, and so they become, they think that's for them kind of weak. They have no authority.
20 paces behind the men.
And
it's so wrong, right? It's so wrong. So by showing these women how to step into their warrior identity, and showing true historical figures who have done it and who have done it right, and then be able to show examples of what it looks like to fight for your man and to fight for your family, and to not accept his lame butt excuses. To hold him accountable.
And the two ladies that we had going through it kind of in full, neither of them are in marriage relationships right now. And so I think, and that's something that's so important for parents to teach their daughters and their sons, but in this context of talking about daughters, is what to accept and seek in a marriage relationship. If it doesn't matter if they're not there yet, but save them the pain and the trial and error of going through a lot of guys that aren't walking it out, and kind of what does the Bible actually want you to have in this relationship, and so they can go into that with eyes open and know what they deserve and what is also expected of them.
Yeah, well,
hey, Steve,
I'm glad you made it home, brother.
And hi, Toaster Oven.
Yep, hello, Toaster Oven. And again, clearly defining the roles of men and women biblically, and what the expectations are that we all have, and then what's unique to each one, really sets us up for success. And every time.
Hi, Paul. All right.
What does that
we'll
mean?
Take your word for it.
What does that even mean?
Of course, Paul's going to come out with a head scratcher. Steve, I don't know if you just recently signed on. We have put it out there. If anyone wants to call in and debrief their experience on air, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, we'd love to. And let me put up the number. There you go. So again, call in, tell us about your things. So what was amazing to me was the commonality of the men's problems and the women's problems.
Mm-hmm.
So the men's problem was overwhelmingly they all had abandonment issues. Most of them had abandonment issues from their dad.
Okay.
And then they all made a false idol out of work.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
It wasn't always all of them made a false idol of work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the hustle for that pretty much.
Yeah.
Providing for their family and getting sucked into the provider role, but not the discipling role.
Yeah. And, it's, again, because provider, I mean, that is an admirable thing that we men are asked to do for their family. And it's just oftentimes it can tip over the edge on finding what that balance is.
Yeah.
So I think, and again, society kind of smiles upon men who, bust their butt to give their family a better life, and they don't look at what those sacrifices are, kind of, and what is hitting the floor, what that is actually truly what matters in that family.
Right. And, so again, seeing that trouble. And then on the women's side, it was men were their problem. Poorly picking men, without a doubt, seemed to be the problem.
Mm-hmm.
There were other root causes in there, and there were other problems that compounded that.
Sure.
But both of them weren't fishing in the Christian pool.
Yeah, I mean, right there, they're not set up for success.
Yeah, I mean, you're going after a heathen, you're going to get a heathen.
Yeah.
But it was very cool to see the common threads, and I don't mean to boil everyone's story down to a couple too, but those are just some of the things that jumped out at me.
Mm-hmm.
With the problems. But the people who took accountability of their mistakes and owned their half of them are the ones that I think are going to be awesome. Because, we had people come forward and confess saying they had their priorities 180 degrees wrong.
Mm-hmm.
One guy said that his priority, the priority should be God, wife, kids, work.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy said, and I won't say names, his was work, kids, wife, God.
Yeah. And I'd say that is, you could poll probably, if you polled 100 people, probably 80 to 90 guys would probably give the same answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that all of us often settle for less than what we do, but we also should be working our butt off to attract the right people, and we should be fishing in the right places.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trolling the bars, what are you going to find?
Right.
I mean, it's where are you looking?
Yeah, and I think almost I didn't date as a Christian. We didn't meet really as Christians. But I think now if you're going into trying to find a life partner, your husband, as a Christian woman who really has identified what's important in your partner, in a marriage, in a relationship, it might be harder because that is a smaller pool, but you're also going to, have your kind of criteria that you can much more quickly cross off people that are not even worth your time.
Right.
And so narrowing it down and not wasting your time kind of 6 months into a relationship, year into a relationship, saying, oh, I realize now that he's a jerk, or realize now that he's not a Christian, doesn't want kids, or whatever the situation is. You can pretty quickly ascertain whether they are a walking it out Christian.
Yeah. And I would say again, I think without exception, most guys realized they were taking their wife for granted. They weren't putting them in their proper place in that pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Using Paul Washer's example of when he called his sons downstairs,
mm-hmm.
who had made their mom cry, and said, basically, she's the apple of my eye, not you.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that he said in that same sermon, and we didn't really talk about it, was he said, men don't take advantage of having a solid wife.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times kind of a woman who is really struggling is going to naturally attract kind of more help by her partner. And so when your wife is put together and she's solid on the kids, she's solid in her faith, she's rocking her role. It's easier to think, okay, I don't really need to support her as much because she's just crushing it. And Paul is like stressing, don't take advantage of that. Give her the same amount of support, because you can't guarantee that's always going to be there, and she's going to be just as receptive, or she will notice just as much as someone who is needing that help if you're not providing it.
I'm not married because I haven't found anyone who deserves me. That's a good way to say things, but are you deserving to them? Like, you're gonna have to prove that you're worthy to somebody worth having as well. That's reciprocal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not everyone always wants to turn the focus on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you should not settle for anything that is not biblical. And you should, pursue the partner that, is the best fit for you. But at the same point, you have to be worthy for them as well.
Right. And not to say that this is what you're doing, Toaster Oven, but I think people make an idol out of themselves a lot of times in thinking about, I'm too good for everyone I've met. You're putting yourself on a pedestal. You've made yourself an idol.
Yeah.
That might not be attainable, and certainly one that you should be putting aside, because we're not supposed to have idols. So I think, and again, Toaster Oven, we know nothing about
we have no idea
your experience, and that, so it's just the way you framed it. But yeah, I think it's be introspective on that as well.
Yeah. And then Howdy from Alaska. Sorry. Just getting in, and my wife is an awesome rock of the Lord and definitely my teammate.
Awesome.
That's great to hear. That
good to see you tonight.
I have that, and it is amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Followed up saying, first thing that attracted me to my amazing wife is her love for God. That's first above all things, second to none. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, that's what I tell all my single friends now. Go to church, get yourself right with the Lord. The more you love the Lord, the more you go after the Lord, you'll start attracting the right people who are all about that as well.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody wants to skip to the end, and it's not that. You have to be squared away. If you're a mess, you're just going to go into a situation, and you're just going to hamstring the whole relationship.
Yeah. And why would the Lord necessarily bless that?
Right. Well, the Lord will not bless a relationship that's outside of his intent.
Right.
Of his design. So, everyone living in sin, dating for, and having sexual, activities for 14 years, never getting married, never doing any of that stuff. The Lord's not going to bless that. You're going to have nothing but heartache until you get right with him.
Yeah.
So, and again, I understand that life's hard. I understand that not everyone comes to a Christian the same time. I didn't come to being a Christian till way later in life.
Yeah.
We were sitting around the table and everyone's talking about, people that they would say no, not to date, or this or that or the other thing. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I'm every one of those that people would say not to date or all those other things. And, that wasn't the case with us. We have a storybook relationship.
Well, I mean, that was a lot of the issues with family members and such of me starting the relationship with you is, you didn't on paper, you weren't
wasn't the doctor,
right? Everything that parents who aren't looking at things necessarily even from a Christian viewpoint, think that matters.
So again, I think it's all the first parameter, as Doc said there, is do they love the Lord? If they love the Lord, you get something to work with.
Yeah.
Because you know what rule book they're playing by.
Yeah.
right? Instantly, you know where their morals are. You know, they understand roles, they understand responsibilities, and all that.
All right. Tony and Melissa Housewright, welcome. If you're not married, you should be praying for your future husband or wife. Tony and I make Christ first. He is our center. Thank you both for all you do.
Awesome, Tony. Melissa, you are 100%
Yep.
right. 100% right. And
And
then Brian,
amen.
hey, what's up, Brian? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, of the praying for your future partner.
And that's where God really thrives in answering prayers. When you are praying in his will, like you're praying to break a sin. That's why I think we see so many miracles in addiction recovery prayers, in Christian addiction recovery, where people go from 100% drug addicted to cold turkey without any tremors, without any, because they're asking the Lord to intercede on sin to get right with the Lord. When you're like, Lord, I want $1 million. You're asking him to go against his own, self. Yeah. That's got nothing to do with God.
Asking him to help you walk more in his
when
path.
You're praying to be a better Christian, I think that's really where you start seeing the heavens and earth move. You see mountains moving, and the miracles happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful for you. You were an absolute rock star. The months leading up to this. I set a very aggressive fundraising schedule. We did six events in like 6 weeks. And all while you're very pregnant, all while
increasingly so.
We still haven't unpacked yet.
Yeah.
We are not set up optimally here, and you rolled with the punches, and you crushed it, and you didn't strangle me. And I thank you for that. No, and you still were fun, and you still laughed, and you still rolled with it, and you still picked me up when I would fall down.
No, thank you.
You are everything that I showed in that video, and that's why it was so easy for me to make that class, because I was just thinking about you.
Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. No, I mean, I had my whether it turned into a discussion conversation between the two of us or whether I kept it to myself, I certainly had my moments of what the heck are we doing, and this is all coming so fast, and we don't have enough money, and all of this stuff that the worldly way that Satan can get into my head on my weaknesses. I'm grateful that I was able to keep my eyes on what matters, God, and what we can do for him through this, and put aside all of the concerns and the tangible issues, and we had a conversation about finances and stuff right before this weekend, and God showed us that he's got us. Yeah. So
the moving 3 times in a year, the extreme economic cost to get down here to Tennessee, just the chaos. You have been a rock and an anchor to keep me steady when everything else was going crazy, and even myself. So thank you. I couldn't do it without you. I love you. I think you're the best.
I love you.
You want to read this?
Yeah. So Diana says, I met a gentleman this weekend who made a huge impact in me, who I felt like I've known for a long time. And that's the greatest thing about fellowship.
Hands down correct.
Yeah.
Every single person I met, whether it was the first time I saw them in person or not, it's like a long lost friend that I haven't seen in 20 years.
No awkwardness of like you're a brand new person in our life. It's
and there's no
Mary Jo rolled into our house a couple nights ago, when she's
Auntie Mary Jo.
Auntie MJ now.
Yeah.
Because she moved down here Tuesday. She came over Wednesday and sitting around our kitchen table literally 30 minutes into having physically met, meeting this person for the first time. It was like great friends.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing. It's so amazing to be part of. And whether that feeling is leading to a friendship, leading to a relationship, kind of whatever that dynamic has as in the future, Jason and I, me being atheist and he being I'm not sure where I am when we met, we're fortunate enough to still experience that kind of soul connection at the point that we met. I'm grateful that God saw our future and still gave us that connection from the get-go.
Yeah, when she walked in the gym, it was here was my best friend from 20 years ago that I haven't seen in forever. It was I can't explain it.
Yeah.
So again, coming down here, checking your ego, women don't have to do this usually as much. I find that women are much easier to instruct and take instruction and correction.
Depending on the topic, I think women can get their hackles up a little bit about mothering, depending on how it's approached or something on being kind of critiqued in their
that makes sense.
Their mothering techniques.
Yeah.
But I would say generally, and in especially the kind of the topics at hand from this and the physical stuff that you were doing, I would say women are less likely.
I like the guys. I mean, I prayed for it, and the Lord came through. I said, "Do not let ego interfere with people learning today.
Mm-hmm.
Check your ego at the door. If you know a better way, go back to doing it afterwards. I'm just teaching you the way I know."
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was humble. Everyone just took it on board and drove with it, and it was great. And it allowed us to have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Steve, you're a great sport.
Yes.
But it was a lot of other guys too.
Yeah.
Everyone had a blast with it. It was so good. So another thing here, and I want to talk to everybody who's considering coming down here. We got a great, it wasn't an email, it was a DM, a direct message, from a guy up in Connecticut, a farmer, who was like, "Hey, it seems like you're building a community down there, and it seems that you cater to military only." That is not true.
Yeah, veterans.
Yeah. Veterans, that is not true. I don't care if you were a veteran.
Steve, you're calling me. Call Jason.
Call the number on the screen, Steve. The one in the bottom left-hand corner. This is why Steve has thick skin and he's a great sport.
Wrong number, Steve.
Attention to detail. Anyways,
yeah, he never did get his ice bath, did he?
No, he didn't.
That's still waiting for him.
That's still waiting for him. I took
no
mercy
wonder
on
everyone dove into like the long form testimonies.
Yeah.
they were waiting for the ice to melt.
Yeah. So when he calls, I just want to. So I don't care if you're a veteran. I just care that you're coming down here. You're a Christian conservative, and you want to learn or have something to teach. I just want to help as many Christian conservatives come down here and keep this place red and turn it even more red and sanctify it to the Lord. So the more believers we can get here, the more locked on Christians we can get here, the better it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will help anyone, whether you're a part of our direct group or not. All right, that's up to you.
Take two.
Steve, are you there? Steve, are you there? All right, hold on. I got to put you on the right place. All right, I'm going to put you on air. All right.
All right.
All right, Hope Report.
Hey,
Hope Report. All right. All right, PCM. There's Steve. Steve, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. It was a really awesome weekend. A lot of great soul searching, a lot of fellowship that I had an idea that would take place, but not at the level that it did. I had a 11-hour drive home and a lot to think about, all good stuff. I mean, everybody was just fantastic. And that, just doing the, talking to everybody and letting all, about who they are and letting that out. And you're right, guys, there was a lot of tears. There was a lot of choking going on, but all good things that needed to be released and well received. And then with, the combatives, which we all know I need a little work at. A lot of coordination there that I didn't realize I didn't have, but I certainly will be working on that. But just spending time with everyone and just
having that fellowship and that camaraderie and that closeness was priceless. And I don't think I turned the radio on in my truck for probably the first 5 hours, just reflecting on everything that took place over the weekend. That opportunity to be on the mountain and just have some quiet time with some good questions to be asking yourself and sharing that with God, and then being able to come back and reflect that with everybody. And I think what was really super special is everybody was there as you shared, they shared, and they helped each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I thank everyone for that fellowship, and very, very special weekend, and exceeded more than I really had originally thought. It exceeded everything, and I can't thank you guys and everybody that was there. Definitely a game changer for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, you left nothing on the table, dude. You've been all about this. You've been a huge asset to our community. You've been all in from go, and I was just so proud of you for going all in on this and getting the most out of it. So, Steve,
thank you.
I salute you on that. And the great thing is that it's not over.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow on the PCM Tennessee or Johnson City group, the HQ group, we're going to be, all you guys are going to be able to converse with each other there because everyone's going to be in that group. So we're going to be doing Bible studies in there together. We're going to be doing training with each other in there. This keeps on going. You guys are now each other's war council.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are all interlocked with your testimonies, and we're just going to keep adding more and more people. There's just going to be more Shield brothers and more Shield maidens added in there, and that's going to just add more knowledge, and it's going to add more shared experiences, and it's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm so excited for the future.
That's outstanding. That's excellent. I just have one request.
Sure.
I need cartoons on the combatives.
Yeah, you do.
Step by step, I need some cartoons.
We'll try to get you some videos. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate that. Well,
that. Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later, brother. Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right. Love you guys.
Right,
Thank you.
Steve.
Bye.
Have a blessed night.
Bye.
So,
eye-hand coordination stuff. All right, Mary Jo says, you both are so welcoming. I can't thank you enough for opening up your home to me and everyone else. I look forward to the fellowship to come. Right back at you, MJ.
Yeah, you're a super helper as well. I mean, constantly.
Got our house decorated.
Diana says, Steve, you're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely kept us laughing. With his Cobra guard or whatever that. Oh, that was priceless.
He said he's going to go get a bag. So
yeah,
hopefully we can be practicing good muscle memory, not bad muscle memory on this newly acquired bag.
Oh boy. Yeah. I hope nobody breaks their hands on their new bags. Remember, top two knuckles. These two, not these two. Straight wrist.
You didn't really go over hand strikes, palm strikes all that much, did you?
I didn't have time.
Yeah.
It was just all.
Yeah.
Like I just could time. This should have been a week-long course, but no one could come.
Yeah. I have to start earlier.
Yeah, start earlier.
Start earlier, days longer.
We'll be all dragging.
Yeah. We'll refine it.
Yep.
Pretty darn good for the first pass.
I mean, I hope so. All I know is I was ecstatic because all I saw was smiling faces, happy people, healing tears, and friendships.
Yeah. And it was great that Mike was able to come down, your co-host Melissa's husband. It was wonderful to meet him and have him walk through the weekend with us.
Yeah, picked up another friend there. I mean, hit it off with Mike. I mean, another great guy. Just really good. Yeah, and of course Diana is also has a very thick skin and is a lot of fun.
Yes, she wades right into it. I mean, just listening to her and Claudia and John go back and forth is just entertaining.
Yeah, like I would like to be in there, like a fly on the wall when they're making a major decision, like buying a car or something,
or like a house,
or like a house.
We've been part of that decision experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michelle says Mike is awesome. Known him for many years. Yeah, he's a great guy. It was great to meet him, and now I haven't met Melissa yet, so that's
I can't
next
wait
on
for
the
that.
list. Yeah, it'd be great for her to be able to come through. And Michelle, how was your surgery? Because you had that last week, right?
No, it's we gotta pray for her and her friend tonight. It's her surgery.
Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, and then
his is Wednesday.
Who's this Wednesday?
Her friend.
Oh, okay. And then my mom's is Thursday.
Yeah, so we got 3 to pray for.
She has no choice but to participate in the in the family ribbing.
Yeah, it was funny.
And then Pastor Paul Miller and
Diane,
his wife came over for the baptisms, and were able to. So Pastor Paul was here on Friday night, and then they both came for the baptisms
to help
and
support the ministry.
And hung out with the group for a little while up at the cross last night, which was really nice. And small world connections all the way. Small world, like literal small world connections, not just like, oh, you guys were from the same state, but
like
he knew someone.
People. Yeah.
Mary Jo is originally from Portugal, and he has a connection there. I mean, so it was just small world.
There was a lot of phone numbers being exchanged.
Yes, there certainly were.
And, all kinds of stuff going on. So that's what community is all about, right? If we had to be there for people to be friends and get together, it wouldn't be a community. It would just be, whatever. It would be something
Jason
way
and Lauren's
shallow.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that everyone else is making friends with one another, that's the goal. That's community. All
right. So Twister Evans asking, what was the age range? I would say so 28.
Well, how old is Austin? Austin's young,
right? Oh, 23?
Yeah, I'm not sure how old he
right.
is.
Yeah. So young mid-20s through
I don't know how old was
60s?
Yeah, I would say it's through 60s.
Probably 60s.
Yeah, I don't know how old
late 50s, early 60s
was.
If any of you guys on there wanted to chime in on your upper
John's
age
60, but I don't. Dan, I'm not sure. I thought Dan might have been older.
Steve, than that. You don't have to. What's the age range of Dan?
He's a dude. He's not going to care.
In and around there.
Only girls care about their age being said. Dudes don't care.
All right, so Austin's 23.
Yeah, there was definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep.
Various kind of fitness levels, skill levels.
Yeah, it was a very mixed group. It was great.
Faith walk levels. Yeah.
Okay, he's 23. Austin's 23. So I'm just beside myself with how cool it was. Like I sat up there today, and I'm just like, wow, I can't wait to turn and burn and do this again.
Mm-hmm.
And get another group of people in here and help change their lives, and then again and again. And then I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, we do 5 or 6 of these a year, or who knows how many we do a year, and then we have a reunion, and they all come together.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be so darn cool.
Yeah.
It'd be so darn cool.
Well, the reunion should be. I mean, so because we've been planning on. Loosely planning, anticipating that Memorial Day, the cross raising will turn into an event for us.
Yeah.
And so that could be the forging kind of around.
Well, that's right. I totally forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. That's so Memorial Day weekend
Day should be our annual
reunion weekend.
Yeah. Let's just hope it's not wet every year in Tennessee on Memorial Day.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
My lawn can't take any more parties in the rain.
When we got here, we thought Tennessee was Seattle. We moved the wrong place.
Yeah.
It rained like every day for like a month and a half straight.
And then not at all until the week before this event.
Yeah.
Then it caught up, made up for time. It'll be nice when we have some gravel parking available for people and stay off my grass.
So, for everybody who went through the forging, and everybody who watches this show who's on Facebook, if you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook. I hate Facebook. You guys have heard my rant about quitting. Like, everybody wants to quit and punish Facebook. You're not punishing Facebook. You don't spend money on Facebook. You don't buy anything from Facebook. You don't click on anything that they recommend.
You can literally only follow our page and only be a member of this group and have no friends.
Right. And
that is okay.
That is okay. But I need some way to communicate with you guys that'll work. Like, all these non-tech savvy people, we're trying to coordinate. We're trying to get gear lists out to everyone. We're trying to coordinate so many things with everyone. Everyone's like, I don't do that. I don't do email. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Instagram. It's like, for the love of God, we need a way to communicate with you guys back and forth. So as this show continues to grow, I can't have 2,000 people calling my phone and texting my phone, or else it'll be the same as my junk email box where it's just
yeah.
So having a place where we can come and answer everything in one thing, Facebook just makes the most sense. It's where the most people are.
Yeah.
Our website would be great, but most people don't even know about our website.
I'm sure whether we might refine kind of as we refine our event registration process, there might be some kind of event registration attendee way of communicating just to that group. But the problem is there's a lot of people who didn't register through the Eventbrite event for this. They just kind of were one-off.
Luckily, John came and saved the day. He brought plenty of iPro, Ear Pro. We had extra guns for people to use, extra belts for people to use. So it's just a matter of, we need a way to communicate with people. And if it's our website, I'm fine. We're just going to have to install
We'll refine it. Our coordination will improve on this, as well. And, each time we'll go a little smoother on all of the pieces of the process.
Yeah. So. The main thing with Facebook, again, like I said, is you're surrendering the nuclear warhead or nuclear bomb of communication. It's the easiest way to communicate. There's a reason why it's one of the richest companies in the world. They're good.
They work.
They're good at what they do. Mm-hmm. The censorship sucks. Their leadership sucks. I understand it, but let's use it against them. Mm-hmm. Let's use it against them. So we're going to be posting a lot more stuff in our Patriot Crusader mission small group, or whatever it's called. I'll show it to you.
And I likely am going to put together for the people who attended, like a Survey Monkey or something like that we can send to you guys, because we want you guys are all being very gracious and giving us positive feedback. We would like constructive criticism as well from your experience on the activities, the use of time, the you name it, and ways that we can just improve this experience for everyone else going through it in the future. So I'll get a couple questions put together kind of in a coordinated way this week.
Facebook is the only way we can share stuff with you free, right? Otherwise we have to go to Patreon and we got to charge you money for that. And we love our Patreon members who do it. And, they're all over here as well, right? So again, the Patreon people support us over on Patreon because that's the easiest way for them to support this ministry. It just gives them they deduct between $5 and $100 a month to support us because they care about us and they want us to stay on the air. Right? I can share it for free on Facebook, and all you got to do is use Facebook. All right. So, and we're going to be posting the workouts, the combatives, the spiritual stuff, and we'll go back. We're going to pick a day. We're going to put a survey out on what's the best day to do a Tuesday or Thursday for the small group.
Okay.
Right? We'll go back to doing Bible readings. And we'll be doing
so this one is one that is not going to be specific to members that have only gone through the forging.
No, this is for everyone.
Okay. Are you going to have one that is going to be for just members of the forging, or are you just going to keep it as a bigger?
I think there'll be posts that are meant for them, but as of right now, I think our community is so small. The forging members are all going to know each other, and they're going to be talking to each other. It's kind of take care of itself.
Okay.
Right. Everyone will know each other.
Okay.
So and then we'll have class, forging class 001, forging class 002. We can tag things and sort it in there appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the idea right now. Again, it's a working in progress, but you guys get to see some of it, and we'll be making some sense out of it now, and we can talk about it, and we'll do weekly coaching and all that stuff. Because again, the forging was an on ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was an on-ramp. It was a moment of accountability, right? And it was from that moment on, you're now on the clock.
Yep.
Particularly for those of you who were baptized. So you're on the clock. You know the rules. You know what you're supposed to do. Now do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we'll get into all that stuff, and we'll start introducing that stuff. People who've taken part in some of our challenges, a lot of it's going to look familiar. Some of it will be different. We just want to keep moving things forward, keep watching each other's back, keep iron sharpening iron, keep growing that war council and those people that you trust that you can go all in with and share your life with, and you with them with you, and experience true fellowship, even through the internet, even through miles apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll be great. I hope people take advantage of it, which I think that they will. That was an old call.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. What do you mean, Steve?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Steve. So, what else? What was your favorite part? You didn't get to experience it all, so it's
I didn't, because I was bouncing back and forth between doing kind of some prep for some things and and all that stuff. So I wish that I had been able to participate in more of kind of the war council. That the God sessions were more of what I ended up sitting out, because I didn't want to be in and out. That was not a right environment for me to be in and out, or with be in the background or anything like that. Right. So I enjoyed the evening fellowship time, as the opportunity to kind of talk to people, get to know people more. And I think I kind of being a removed observer in some regards, I liked watching people's engagement with it, and watching them absorb what was being taught, and seeing things land on them in the way that we were hoping it would. So I think just an overall thing versus having one specific thing that I enjoyed the most, since I wasn't in on every single thing.
So Doc said, wish y'all were mobile. We'd love to host you up here in the frozen north until we move to Tennessee. If there's one state in the whole world I want to go to, it's Alaska. I'll take you up on that. If you can fill a class, I'll be there. I will only go to red states. I'm not going to blue states, period. So I'm not going to go somewhere where I have to surrender my freedoms at the door. Alaska has its challenges because I got to go through Canada to drive there. And I don't know if I'm going to get the
equipment, the making this mobile, the equipment piece would be the hardest. Yeah. There could be a travel version of it that we adapt. If areas like if communities start to, say, we'll get a group of X number of people together.
We need a range. We need, like Crossfire in Dallas would have been a great fit for this.
Yeah. Or like when Peter hosted us up at when he was working at the
Yeah.
range in Maine. You know,
Wyndham.
yeah. So there certainly are opportunities to do something like that. So possibly in the future. I mean,
Yeah, I think once we start crushing it here and it gains its own traction and its own following, you know, and it gains momentum. We're
and that's
100%
when
going.
he's going to start telling me, "See, we need the wrapped RV."
Exactly. She knows. She's
to
caught
be
on.
to be pulled by the wrapped truck.
Yeah.
I know this game. I know this game.
Well, what I'm really
which I will be more amenable to since I'm not going to be living in it full time.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm really excited for is to have on-site lodging. Like
Yeah.
it bummed me out that people had to leave because they would have stayed longer. And the
Yeah.
out-of-towners, it would have created more of an environment.
Yeah.
You know, I would have had more of an environment with people having breakfast together and hanging out.
Mhm.
It just would have been more quality time around each other. So I think as we continue to build and flesh this out, I think, you know, having a lodge where people stay, again, it'll affect the price. But, you know, maybe some people will donate, you know, and sponsor people or whatever to come. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things, you know, I want to keep it affordable. It really meant the world to us. That's people who could and chose to gave way over
More.
their ticket price.
Yeah.
You know, multiple people paid way more than their ticket price because we undervalued it. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was a fraction of what it should have.
Well, you know, because we had said that the original price was $5, but everyone who came took advantage of when we gave the early bird discount of half off. You know, so can't blame people for taking advantage of that when we offered it. But yeah, we were certainly grateful when people did donate beyond that. And, you know, I think with that, however, God blesses us with the finances and, you know, we'll have big donors, you know, God willing, and we can set up a scholarship program or the way that ORW, you know, like you had someone basically paid for your flight out there and then it wasn't a charge. They've been able to do that the way that they host their ORW doesn't pay, you know, so they've been able to work that out with their facility and everything like that.
Yeah, people donate.
So we'll see what it turns into. Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately, whether this is, you know, some people pay their way and some people, you know, it's kind of let us know if you can't, and we'll have a scholarship thing for those people who can, and we'll see what it turns into.
Yeah, you know, wow, hold on. Look at our signal there.
We dip way down?
We dipped down to 0, so I hope I'm still here. Hopefully
I think we're okay.
Okay. So my favorite part was definitely the testimonies part. You know, that's where things get the rawest. And then my second favorite part was up on the mountain recounting their walk with God.
Yeah, and those were the two I didn't participate in.
They were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to have seen more camaraderie around the campfire time and all that stuff. I mean, there was laughing, there was all that stuff, but I would do more to try to keep people together in the same area.
You think people just kind of splintered into
splintered into the smoking group and the non-smoking group, the cigar group,
and I mean, well, yeah, a lot of people just kind of paired off.
Well,
you know, the kind
of
the get to know you conversations, and obviously Friday night was rainy, so we were down here, so that was a different environment than
the fire.
What we got on Saturday. So yeah, I mean, I think part of that could be, you know, we could structure that time more and kind of interject a group topic of conversation for that time instead of allowing people. I mean, when you are having it be kind of free fellowship time, obviously people default to having it be a 2 or 3 person conversation. That's just natural. That's comfortable.
It was just really hard for me to work the room and give everyone the time they wanted because everyone was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, our house doesn't facilitate a large group in one room, so that was hard for Friday. Saturday, we could have facilitated a little bit more structure around the fire at the top. Okay, so Diana's favorite part, hike, then spiritual talk of the mountain, then, of course, baptisms. Awesome. I'm glad the hike went over well.
I would also say that one of my most favorite parts actually came after it, and it was hanging out, you know, afterwards with the races around the table.
MJ and Austin
and Austin and everyone and just laughing pretty much all night till 11 o'clock at night that night.
Yeah, it was a good way to wrap it all up.
It was great.
I'm so glad that the hike was received the way that we hoped it would be. I think so many people do not give themselves the time to truly get alone, especially for an hour or more, and reflect and no technology, no other people around, as far as that you're not like interacting with anyone else, in nature. And so I'm glad that we were able to facilitate that opportunity for people. And I just pray that now that people have had that experience and found it valuable, that they're able to implement that.
Yeah, that was
on their own.
That was one of the things that Mike said to me. He's like, that walk was amazing. He's like, whoever takes the time to do that.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
To go there and just spend an hour with God on the top of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
The fire was scorching hot, tough to be around. Too big of a fire pit. Means too big of a fire. Means too hot. That's what John says.
Doesn't mean too big of a fire pit. It means the fire in the middle of the fire pit.
I mean, naturally, if you have a big fire pit, you're going to build a big fire. So we need to extend
he's a guy with a little dog and a little truck. So, of course, he wants a little fire.
We need to extend the sides now of the patio so that the bench is going to be farther away from the fire pit.
Little dog, little truck.
Do you see how he turned that around on you, John?
Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Oh, man. Well, I think that's a good, unless there's any questions or if anyone
It was 90 degrees out.
It was not 90 degrees out. Lauren was shivering.
I mean, I enjoyed the fire. It was hot. But you found me sitting next to it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Steve's bringing it back to the important stuff. I agree with Diana. I felt close to God on that mountain.
That's great. I'm like, no one talked to anyone.
Yeah.
Wow, was silence. And I'm like, man, they're going to be up there chit-chatting the whole way up there. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad everyone.
That's why I texted Diana. I said, don't let your mom talk to you the entire time. She followed the rules too. She said she didn't go all the way to the knob, but she found
bench,
like I think she called, like I said, a big vine from a tree to sit on in the woods. So she was kind of in the shaded woods, and she got her quiet time too.
Well, anyways, guys, it was an amazing time. Everyone who wasn't here, thank you for tuning in to hear about how our first forging went. I really appreciate it. We're trying to gauge interest.
To spread the word.
Because we want to do one before Thanksgiving.
You've caught on to my temperature. Yes.
Like I said, why do you think she's wearing Santa PJs?
They got to see the Santa PJs in
July. In July in Tennessee. Trust me, the girl she's a reptile. What can I say?
Yes.
It was a great weekend. So why don't we close it out now? Remember, we got to pray for Michelle, her friend.
Michelle, what's your friend's name? And what is the surgery? I'm sorry if I don't recall hearing about.
I will keep the details vague on the surgeries and all that stuff. Just
okay.
Say surgeries. So
Michelle, we'll do that.
And her friend, and then
Patty.
And Patty.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Take us home.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you now just in awe of the experience that we all had over this weekend, and humbled by it, and so grateful for your presence in each of our lives. Thank you so much for being here with us and for touching each person who came here and opened their heart and seeking you and just desiring to be closer to you. We are blessed beyond belief that you were receptive to that, and that you opened your arms up to each one of them. And we just pray deep prayers that every person who is here this weekend can take what they experienced this weekend with you and just run with it and run closer to you, Lord, and just grow immensely in your embrace. And so we're just grateful again that you gave us this opportunity. And I know Jason and I are humbled that you chose us to be the stewards of this ministry and of these, to be a part of each person's journey as they get closer to you, Lord. It's an amazing thing that you chose us to lead. And we just pray that we're doing it justice and making you proud, and pray that you hand us more, Lord, because we would love to do it for you and we are ready for it. Lord, we turn to the people who are facing a surgery this week. We have Michelle and her friends, and then my mom, for various needs, but we pray positive outcomes for each one of them, that they get the healing that they are seeking. We pray for steady hands and wisdom in their surgeons, that whatever they are needing to be healed is that your hand reaches down and touches each of those areas in their body and heals it fully, that they regain any function that they've lost or heal any pain that they are experiencing, and that they know that you were present in that operating room and during their time of recovery. And especially in the case of my mom, I pray that she can recognize your presence throughout this operation and time of recovery, and turn a little bit more towards you, Lord, as we pray that she finds you. And Lord, as we move into this week, I just pray a blessing of peace and health and safety over every single person listening, and that they can find that quiet time to be still with you, and that you meet them there and you hear their hearts, and just encourage them as they deepen their relationship with you. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, everyone. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. And we will see you back here on Wednesday.
Who's coming?
Huh?
Who's coming on Wednesday?
It's supposed to be Paul.
Is it Paul this week?
I think it's supposed to
well,
be Paul.
Because Joel wasn't here last week, right?
Yeah, Joel was not here last week.
All right.
So
surprise.
We'll
We'll surprise you on
you.
Wednesday.
But
and then we have the architect coming on.
Yeah, we have the
Sunday this week.
Someday this week.
So hopefully by Friday we'll be able to give you some
to walk the grounds and give us a price on
the vision.
The vision here. How many zeros and the number?
How big of a number is in the front, and then how many zeros are behind?
How many zeros are behind what we want to do here? So keep us in your prayers. We appreciate it. And thank you, everybody who supported us again and came into this. It meant everything. Yeah. And thank you for everybody who continues to buy our swag. Thank you to our Patreon donations. Thank you for everyone who's supporting by attending our training, our courses, and for the people who are just sending checks in. It means everything to us. Thank you so much. You are truly making a difference. God bless you. And we will see you on Wednesday. Good night. Wait. Outro.
Got it. Just in time.